Speaker will have 7 minutes to address Council. In order to maintain a respectful and orderly environment during the meeting, I kindly request that all delegates respect the following guidelines. Please do not interrupt councillors, staff, or other delegates while they are speaking. Refrain from using offensive words or discriminatory language, making derogatory remarks about councillors, staff, or others, and interrupt, speak over, or continue to speak when advised by the chair to desist. Do not use hate speech or make defamatory comments. Although it is rare, I would like to remind delegates and members of the public that failure to adhere to appropriate decorum will result in your microphone being muted or removal from this meeting. Out of respect for all meeting participants, I kindly ask that those in the gallery remain seated unless exiting the chambers and avoid personal conversations and expressions of support or opposition to those speaking in order to allow everyone to hear the proceedings as they occur. I would also like to remind all meeting participants that no member of the public will be allowed to approach the members of council, township staff, or the podium when the meeting has been called to order without the permission of the chair. As a reminder to council, after hearing the general interest delegations, council can receive the delegation for information only or refer the matter to staff for additional information. Matters addressed during the general interest delegations are not to be debated, and the only questions of clarification are permitted. But also to those delegating, both for our general delegates and regular delegations, do not be offended if council does not ask you questions, as this is our time for council to listen and reflect on your comments. So, with all of that housekeeping out of the way, I will now invite this evening's general interest delegation, and that is Erin Jackson. And Erin, you will have 7 minutes to address council. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, and thank you for having me here today and for your full attention. My name is Erin Jackson. I'm 16 years old, and I live in New Hamburg at the end of Nafsinger Road, which makes a farmland grab quite literally close to home. I attend Waterloo Oxford Secondary School and plan to go to the University of Guelph to study agriculture. For me, farming is not just a goal, but it's a dream. I am here today as a delegate, a representative of not just Wilmot, but the young generation fighting for our precious farmland. I'm talking about the hard workers with big dreams, the ones who can't quite vote yet but still want to make a difference, the kids with a passion for agriculture who care about where their food comes from. This is who I'm representing. We understand that this issue is so much bigger than the fact that farmland is being lost. This issue in the region and our township is affecting exceedingly more than just the land. We know that the destruction of this special land will negatively impact our community and the generations to come. But not only that, the agriculture industry will be at risk, as well as the government system and its effectiveness. One of the concerns voiced by high school students is the traffic that will come with an industrial development as big as this one. How much longer is it going to take us to get to school and our jobs? Students who live and work on farms are wondering how they're going to get to their fields if the quiet back roads turn into busy city-like roads with lots of traffic. And of course, the kids. Kids want to be kids and ride their bikes and walk around their community without worrying about the thousands more city drivers making the roads unsafe. This is not what we want for Wilmot. We have a beautiful, peaceful place here with lots of natural resources. Something that makes Wilmot so special is our water source. We can fully rely on the aquifer that our community sits on. Only 20 to 30% of Ontario can fully rely on groundwater. That is something unique and worth protecting. Building large factories and industry is not protecting our water source. It will do the opposite by polluting surface water and contaminating lakes, rivers, and streams that go back into the groundwater. In addition, the excessive water consumption that often comes with industrial development can destroy ecosystems and cause significant depletion in our water source. Over time, we would have to turn to a more costly and less sustainable way of providing the region with water. It should be a priority to take care of our clean water. And of course, a natural resource is the farmland itself. It is naturally grown over thousands of years and is resourceful to our economy. Only about 5% of Ontario's land is suitable for growth and for raising livestock. And still, Ontario accounts for $14.5 billion of Canada's food and beverage GDP. Isn't it cool that our township gets to be a part of that? a part of feeding our country. Agriculture is essential to our thriving community. The fact that our farmers are being treated with no respect or appreciation is disheartening. Farming is the most basic system we have. We have been farming since day one on this earth. Despite all of this, about 320 acres of farmland are being destroyed each day in Ontario. That is something irreversible that we can never get back. How are we going to feed and clothe ourselves in the future if this continues? In all truth, it has to stop somewhere, because it is wrong. Not only because a precious resource is being destroyed is it wrong, but because there are plans in place to ensure that this would never happen. The regional official plan and the provincial policy statement, for example, have goals to preserve our agricultural lands, and yet they are being ignored. Our township community has clearly shown its opposition toward the land grab, and yet you have not advocated for us. We are meant to rely on you to represent our wants and our needs. How are the younger people in our community supposed to trust our representatives when it's our time to vote? The young generation and all of Wilmot wants to see a better future. But how can we help contribute to the plans and ideas if we're not included in them and are having information withheld from us? We have this government system in place for a reason. The system requires transparency, honesty, and communication in order for the democracy to work. It is discouraging to think that this is the world we have to live in. This is the world our kids will have to live in. If change has to be made in the community, then so be it, but it has to be done the right way, and this is not the right way. My job today is to delegate. The action of delegation is to assign a task or responsibility to another person. I am delegating the responsibility for you to represent the Wilmot community on the Regional Council, to declare us as not willing hosts. When I asked the young people in our community what they would say if the mayor if they had the chance, many said this. They would ask why our concerns are not being taken seriously. What is stopping you from carrying out your number one expectation from everyone here, the job that you signed up for, to represent your people? Some teens said, our area is going to grow, but if the farmers don't want to sell, they shouldn't have to. I want you to understand that the support comes from the support behind the Fight for Farmland movement goes beyond the farmers, the voters, and the business owners. The support comes from the youth. We urge you to consider the young people, the kids and grandkids. What are you going to do to better their future? One thing is for sure. God didn't make the land prime and farmable if he didn't want it to be farmed. This is our future and it's our land too. On behalf of the young generation behind Fight for Farmland movement, we are not a willing host. Thank you.
Thank you, those in the gallery. Thank you. Thank you very much, Erin, and both congratulations on delegating as well as your first official general member delegate to be in these chambers. So thank you very much for coming and setting a very high example for those. I would also encourage you to come to Regional Council and share that with my colleagues around that horseshoe, as this decision is before the Regional Council and not this one. So thank you very much. I do hear what you are saying. I am going to take that. I'm seeing my colleagues tomorrow at Regional Committee, and I have been sharing your concerns all along, so I do really appreciate you coming here. I see Councillor Dunstall has a question.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. I just wanted to tell you, Erin, you did a great job. I know it's difficult to stand up there and speak, and you got your points across, and you did very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments, councillors? Okay. Seeing none, thank you again, Erin, for joining us. All right. We do